And what do clothes mean to you?
A lot. Maybe, I don't know, the world. I mean, clothes are, you can express who you are on the inside and show it to everybody before you even say anything. And I think that's kind of magical almost. If magic isn't real, then clothes is the closest you're going to get to it.
It's the most amazing feeling. I feel like a goddess in Rory's clothes. Rory is truly an artist. He is self-taught himself throughout his life, and he creates wearable pieces of art unlike anything that you could ever see in a store. Every piece has its own story and is tailored to a specific time period or piece of history. And Rory just recreates the past with his art, and it's feels like going back in time when you wear one of his dresses.
Un suave murmullo en el silencio de una noche azul.
My early influences actually was I used to see my mom sew, but she would sew for my sisters, and so it never really. I used to tell her I was in elementary school, and they would have the PTA fashion show for the kids, and I would encourage my mom to include me in there. That I want her to make me shirts or pants or something, and she would do it. Arguing, she would say, "Okay, I'll do it." So she'd put me in the shows, and the parents would make clothes for their children, and so I was in the fashion show in elementary school. But I'm the kind of person I feel like I've always wanted to work with mosaic and blown glass and cut glass and stained glass. I work with jewelry. I want to carve wood now. I mean, I feel like I could do anything, and it's crazy, but I think we should always make an attempt to try anything. Nothing is impossible.
Now, how does wearing Rory clothes make you feel?
Definitely magic. Wearing Rory's clothes is like, I don't know, it's like time travel and being able to be the princess you always dreamed to be at the same time. It's like, it's mind blowing that he can put literally a piece of art on you. It's like if you rip something from Picasso or Michelangelo and you put it on clothes, and Rory did it, and you get to wear it, and it's mind boggling.
Artistically, I think I'm really good at art, and I've been doing it for a long time. And then I was inspired by movies, Hollywood. Hollywood's always inspired me. My name is Rory. I was named after Rory Calhoun, a Hollywood idol in the 50s when I was born. And my middle name is Don, after another actor, Don Amici. And so my parents named me after Hollywood stars. So I think I was destined for that. And I would go to Los Angeles as a small child, and I would see Los Angeles, and then I saw film, and I saw the images on film, and it was celluloid magic, and I wanted to be a part of that. So my whole desire was always to move to LA and work in that. And so I see old movies. I'm inspired by the great costumers, the designers at MGM, Paramount, at Fox, Universal, and I know all the great stars, and I know have books on Hollywood and books on costuming, and it fascinated me because they created a different world, and it was a make-believe world, but it inspired millions of people all through the ages of film. So that's my inspiration. When I lived in Spain, I was struggling, and I went there. I went to originally my whole idea was to go to France and work in the film clothing industry there. But when I got to France, the language barrier was just too difficult for me, and I got scared. The fear took over. So I decided, well, I'll go to Spain. I knew Spanish. If I could survive in Spain, then I could. But my whole idea was to resign from the state after 8 years, and I wanted to pursue my dream. So I figured I had no connections here, so I decided to resign after 8 years of state service, and I went to live in Europe. And a fortune teller had told me that I would meet two women there that would be instrumental in helping me in my career. He told me that women will always be instrumental in my career. That's one thing he told me. And so he didn't know anything about my career or what I wanted to do. So I met two ladies. He told me I would meet a fair-skinned woman and a dark-skinned woman. And the first woman that helped me was a woman that was fair-skinned, blonde hair, and she helped me there. The second woman was a dark-skinned woman with dark hair. And she would, when I lived with her, she would take me in the back alleys behind these bridal shops, and there were dumpsters that had bags full of fabric and beads and needles and pearls and everything. They were throwing away scraps from the wedding dresses. So here I would go there and pull out these bags of fabric, which are a lot of times big piece scraps of fabric, and I would create things from that, and I would sell them. So it was a matter of just hustling, my work, and so it was a survival instinct that set in, and it worked out really well. I encourage the youth to follow their dream and listen to people. Let me give you advice so that you don't have to go through what I went through. But in a sense, it makes you who you are also. It made me who I was, that I struggled. I suffered a lot. And so I feel that, through the suffering, it makes you a better artist. Everybody needs to have a little bit of where they wonder where their rent's coming from and where they're going to get their next meal, because that makes you even more strive to be more passionate about your work. I think you could call many people designers, but if they haven't suffered, or their art, or any artist, if they haven't suffered a little bit for their art, then I don't know if you could really call them an artist or a designer.
Tanto tiempo disfrutamos de este amor, nuestras almas se acercaron, tanto así que yo guardo tu sabor